Hello everyone, Genki here, and today we're going to try and beat Pokemon Scarlet with only Poltchageist. Poltchageist is the matcha version of Sinistea from Sword and Shield. Well, technically it's more like Poltchageist, but a first form. You get what I mean? It's Grass and Ghost type, which is honestly worse than pure Ghost. Grass adds more downs than ups. For base stats, Poltchageist gets the same exact stats as Sinistea. 40 HP, 45 attack and defense, 74 special attack, 54 special defense, and 50 speed. High special attack, but average speed and very frail. For movespad level up, we started one more move than Sinistea. Poltchageist starts with Astonish and Withdrawal, but also Stun Spore. That might help with speed control, but I don't know. We get access to all the health restoring grass moves: Absorb, Mega Drain, and Giga Drain. Our only ghost moves are Hex and Shadow Ball, but honestly, after getting Shadow Ball, what other ghost moves would we need? By TM, we get more grass and ghost moves, but half the list of TMs are status moves. Since Poltchageist is so frail, we might need to look at Iron Defense. Also, Calm Mind is our only special attack boosting move, since Nasty Plot is not going to be available. The TM for Nasty Plot can only be accessed in two ways: completing the history course, or finding it in Area 0. Let's go over the rules. I can only use Poltchageist in battle. No items in battle, only held items outside combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's begin. We start the challenge at the first Poke Center, where I trained myself a Poltchageist. I named them Charlie. They are Grass Terra and Hardy Nature, so neutral stat gains. Their ability is Hospitality, which heals ally Pokemon in battle when Poltchageist enters the field, so expect no use of it today. Sinistei's weak armor was definitely a better ability, but all I had access to was Hospitality or Poltchageist's hidden ability, Heat Proof. We challenged Nemona with Charlie at level 8, and Astonish only did 10% of Fuecoco's health. We did get a flinch, and Fuecoco decided to spam Leer, but then a single Ember took Charlie straight to 8 HP. Okay. At level 12, Astonish was doing more damage, but then we got a crit with our third Astonish, taking Fuecoco to red health. We also got the flinch, so one more Astonish finished off Fuecoco. Last is Palmy. Palmy will only spam Thunder Shock, which Charlie resists. I decided to try Absorb, and it did more damage, but Palmy was still a 4 KO. We cannot earn Mezagoza, but instead of heading towards the Bug Gym, we're going to quickly take on our first Titan, Cloth. Against Cloth, we terrestrialized first turn, but then Cloth outsped and used Vice Grip, doing over half of Charlie's health. While holding the Miracle Seed, Absorb did just a little less than half of Cloth's health. Cloth then for some reason went for its weaker Rock Smash, which got the defense drop, but our next Absorb got a crit, ending phase 1. For phase 2, we didn't terrestrialize, but Cloth went for Vice Grip on Arvin's shoulder. Also, Absorb did almost nothing. Terra boosted Absorb, thankfully did a lot more. And Cloth never used an attacking move on Charlie, so it went down in only 4 turns. We now have to face the Bug Gym, but there is a problem. Katie leads with Nimble, who knows Struggle Bug, a move that lowers special attack with each hit. To counter this, I went on my way and got the TM for Nightshade. Nightshade does damage equal to Charlie's level. We faced Katie at level 16, so Nightshade was going to do 16 HP in damage. Nimble was a 3 KO, but we were now at 2/3 HP and at -2 special attack. Tarantula was also a 3 KO, but it has Assurance, which took out Charlie in 2 hits. At level 18, we beat Tarantula by taking advantage of Life Dew, but then a single Fury Cutter from Teddiursa did over 19 HP in damage. Let's go try the Grass Gym. Brassy's Petalil only knows Mega Drain and Sleep Powder. However, Sleep Powder does not affect grass types, so Petalil will only use Mega Drain. It can't do that much damage though, so I use this time to have Charlie set up 2 withdrawals and then a Life Dew, before taking out Petalil with 3 Nightshades. Against Smoliv, we go for a Life Dew, as its Razor Leaf did almost nothing. We then set up 4 more withdrawals to be at full +6 defense. Smoliv is part normal, so we had to use Magical Leaf, which took out Smoliv in 3 hits. Last is Sudowoodo, the reason we had to buff up our defense. Its Rock Throw and Trailblaze could not do that much damage, which was great because Sudowoodo was a 4 KO. Okay, we now have no choice but to take on the Bug Gym, but I decided to do some parkour and grab the TM for Calm Mind. Nimble Struggle Bug makes it hard to boost our special attack, but Calm Mind also boosts special defense, lessening the power of Struggle Bug. We got Charlie up to +4 special defense before going for Life Dew, and then switching the withdrawal, which we also set up 4 times. We were at -5 special attack from Struggle Bug, but it didn't matter since we were using Nightshade, which was now a 2 KO on Nimble. Against Tarantula, we went for a Life Dew, but we had nothing to worry about this time, since Assurance was only doing 4 HP damage. Tarantula was now a 2 KO. Don't ask me why I Terastallized. Last is Teddiursa, and because we Terastallized, we now took super effective damage from Fury Cutter. Thankfully Charlie outsped, and took out Teddiursa with 3 Nightshades. With 2 gyms done, I went to face our next Titan, Bombardier. But it outspeeds, and its Pluck did 56 HP in damage, with 1 hit. We are definitely not ready for the Team Star Dark or Fire bases, so I guess that means we're off to 11th Sea to the next gym and our next Nemona battle. We were now level 24, so I replaced Nightshade with Mega Drain. But we first set up 2 Calm Minds, as Rockruff went for Howl and then Bite, doing over half of Charlie's health. We now had no choice but to attack. Rockruff and Pommy were both one-shots. Crocodile survived Mega Drain in green health, but then Charlie survives Incinerate also in green health. Since we gained health back with Mega Drain, we easily finished off Crocodile with 2 more Mega Drains. Onto the Electric Gym. Waltro outsped and immediately did half of Charlie's health with Pluck, as we set up Withdrawal. Its next Pluck took Charlie red health as we set up Life Dew, but it wasn't enough. 2 more Plucks took out Charlie. We needed more speed, so I bought an Electric Boost sandwich and grounded on Pommies. We did this for a few minutes before returning back to Iono. Charlie now went first and set up Withdrawal, causing Pluck to only do less than a third. We set 1 more Withdrawal and a Calm Mind before finally going on the offensive. Waltro was a 2 KO. Next is Luxio, and its bites were doing sizable damage, but we managed to set up 2 more Calm Minds before one-shotting it. Bellybutt was a 2 KO, but it couldn't do any real damage, so last is Mismagius. Mismagius outsped and used Confuse Ray, but Charlie didn't hit themselves and used Mega Drain, taking Mismagius to a quarter. Mismagius then did low damage with Hex, but went down to 1 more Mega Drain. Let's go to try Bombardier. At level 30, with Hex now on our moveset, we immediately go for Stun Spore, paralyzing Bombardier. It did land a Rock Throw, doing a little over a quarter, but we were able to safely set up a Calm Mind, because Bombardier was fully paralyzed the following turn. Our Hex then almost one-shot Bombardier. However, Bombardier got fully paralyzed a second turn in a row, meaning we're going into phase 2 with green health. We again start with Stun Spore, as Bombardier hit Charlie with Torment. Arvin's knocked his Rock Throw, then did less than a quarter, as we went straight for Hex, taking Bombardier to below half health. However, then Bombardier's Wing Attack took Charlie to only 8 HP. Knockley's second Rock Throw took Bombardier to red health, which I am grateful for, because thanks to Torment, we had to go for Mega Drain, which finished off Bombardier. That's one difficult boss finally down. Let's go do the Team Star Dark base now. Against Pawnyard, we went for 2 Calm Minds, as its Aerial Aces took Charlie to 21 HP. It was a one-shot Mega Drain. We then Terastallized against the Starmobile, neutralizing its Wicked Torque. Our Mega Drain also took the Starmobile to below half health, taking Charlie back to full health. This meant we could easily take the Starmobile's next Wicked Torque and finish it off. Since we are Grass Terra, the Fire base is still out of reach, so that means the Water Gym's next. Against Veluza, we set up a Calm Mind, as its pluck took Charlie to below half health. It was a one-shot Mega Drain. Poltchageist next, and it outspeeds, flinching Charlie with Headbutt. It took Charlie to 9 HP before finally going down to Mega Drain. Last is Carbonable, and it survived Mega Drain. Mega Drain did heal us the full though, which allowed us to survive Carbonable's Slam, so it went down the next turn. Next is our third Titan, Earthworm. We started the battle with a Calm Mind, as Earthworm went for Iron Tail, taking Charlie to 21 HP. We then went for Mega Drain, but it did less than expected. Thankfully, Earthworm missed its Iron Tail. However, that showed an issue. Because of Charlie's Ghost typing, Earthworm will only go for Iron Tail. After a few attempts, we decided to go for the Stun Spore Hex strategy. And with no Calm Mind boost, it took out Earthworm in 2 hits. On to Phase 2. Is what I would say if I actually battled Phase 2. I filmed this last year, so I can't remember why I skipped Phase 2. I decided to battle the normal gym next, and that was a mistake. Kamala has Sucker Punch, but to get past that, I had Charlie spam Calm Mind, even while they were asleep. However, at plus 5 special attack, Kamala survived Mega Drain at above half health. It went down to a Terra Booster Mega Drain, but because I wasn't thinking, we were now asleep for the Dunsparce, whose Hyper Drill one-shot Charlie. I did some training and some thinking. I decided to swap Stun Spore for Withdrawal. That way during Kamala, we can set up our special attack and our defense. We went to plus 5 defense and plus 6 special attack before finally attacking. I then terrestrialized Charlie while he was asleep, which caused him to get taken to half health by 2 slams. But Terra Boosted Mega Drain one-shot Kamala, and also the Dunsparce. Last is Staraptor, who outsped and went for Aerial Ace, still doing a thorough despite our defense. It was a one-shot. That's 5 gym badges, so next is a battle with Nemona. Lycanroc outspeeds, flinches, and 3 KOs Charlie. Usually I would just move on if I lost the battle, but I was salty losing to Lycanroc. I reset the game, meaning to battle Nemona again, I need to defeat Larry again. 2 hours of my life lost later. Lycanroc got a crit with Bite, doing over half of Charlie's health as we set up Calm Mind. For this battle, we had leftovers equipped, and thankfully so, because Lycanroc's Accelerock left Charlie on 4 HP, before we one-shot it with Mega Drain. Next is Gumi. We set up 2 more Calm Minds, as Gumi's Dragon Pulse was not doing that much damage. We then went for Hex, which Gumi survived on a Sliver. We took it out the next turn. Pommel outsped and went for a Resisted Spark, but was a one-shot Mega Drain, so last is Skeledirge. It survived Hex at half health, but then Charlie survived Torch Song on only 1 HP, giving us the opportunity to finally get past this Nemona battle. Maybe now we can take on Team Star Firebase. We are a 2 KO from Torkoal's Flame Wheel. How about the 4th Titan, Great Tusk? It outsped and did a lot of damage from knockoff, leaving Charlie on 1 HP after 2 hits, but it was a 2 KO for Terra Boost and Mega Drain. On to Phase 2. Great Tusk went for Brick Break on Arvin's Scovillain, taking it to yellow health, as Scovillain went for Scary Face. Charlie's Mega Drain then did a quarter. Scovillain did some damage with Razor Leaf, but I had Charlie switch to Terra Blast, which took Great Tusk straight to red health. Terra Blast was my only option for a better grass move. One more finished off Great Tusk. Hey, remember how I never finished Earthworm? Well, I just now realized it, as Koraidon lacked the ability to super jump. Charlie was already at level 41. We set up 1 Calm Mind, as Earthworm went for Sandstorm. Arvin's Toadschool then went for Supersonic, as we went for Hex, which got a crit, taking Earthworm to red health. Earthworm then hit itself in Confusion, leaving itself on a Sliver. Toadschool though just went for Screech, which it missed, so Charlie finished off Earthworm. Okay, we now have to face the Firebase. It still took a few tries though, but luck was on our side, and we got an attempt where it was raining. This meant Torkoal's Drought could not activate. However, after one Calm Mind, Poko was a one-shot by our recently learned Shadow Ball. Onto Melee Snarl. It outsped and used Screech, as our Shadow Ball took the Snarl to below half health. The rain was still up, so the Snarl's blazing torque only took Charlie to above half health. One more Shadow Ball finished off the Snarl. The Poison base is going to be a lot harder than the Fire base, so it's time for a Gym Rush, starting with the Psychic Gym. Tulip's Leaf Farigiraf has Crunch, so I had Charlie Terrestrialize before setting up Withdraw. Farigiraf's Crunch then did a quarter. I had Charlie go for 2 Calm Minds, but Farigiraf switched to Zen Headbutt, which did more damage, leaving Charlie on only 12 HP. We needed to go in the offensive, but Farigiraf survived Giga Drain on a 5th. It went down the next turn, but Charlie was at just above half health. Gardevoir was a one-shot with Shadow Ball. Its Bother outsped and did some damage with Psychic, but was a crit one-shot with Giga Drain, so lasted Slorgus. It survived Shadow Ball, but Charlie was at full health. Its Moonblast only did a 1/3, so it went down to one more hit. The Ghost Gym is next, but first, while I was in town, I Hyper Trained Charlie, maxing out his special attack IVs. His defense was already maxed from being bred using a Ditto. Also, with 6 badges, it's time for another no mode battle. For this battle, I gave Charlie the Clear Amulet, to negate Lycanroc sand attacks. This allowed us to safely set up Withdrawal. Lycanroc's Rock Slide still did a 1/3 though, and got the flinch. However, we managed to set up another free Withdrawal, before going for 2 Calm Minds. Lycanroc did land a second Rock Slide, so Charlie was at only a 1/3 when we went on the offensive and one-shot Lycanroc. Sliggoo was next, so I had Charlie go back to setting up Calm Mind. Sliggoo's Dragon Pulse still couldn't do that much damage. With Charlie at +4 special attack, we one-shot Sliggoo with Shadow Ball. Hamlet did some damage with Spark, but was a one-shot with Giga Drain. Is anyone else getting Deja Vu? Last is Skeldurge. It was a one-shot with Shadow Ball. Time for the Ghost Gem. I immediately had Charlie Terrestrialize instead of Calm Mind. This got rid of his Ghost weakness, but it did allow Mimikyu to hit Charlie with Slash. It also gave Charlie an Omni boost from the crowd. With now +2 special attack, Banette, Poundstone, and Toxicity were all one-shots. All that was left was Mimikyu, who for the first time ever set up Light Screen, but then our Shadow Ball got the special defense drop, along with breaking Mimikyu's disguise, so Mimikyu went down to one more hit. One gem left, time for the Ice Gem. We were immediately one-shot at the Lizard. How about the Team Star Poison base? Atticus leads with Skuntank, who resists all of our attacks, and no Sucker Punch. However, we managed to set up 2 Calm Minds, as it failed Sucker Punch and its Toxic got negated by our Pecha Berry. Skuntank was a one-shot by our Terra Boosted Giga Drain. Against Muk, we set up one more Calm Mind, since its Sludge Wave could barely hurt us. It was a one-shot too, as was Reverie. Last is Atticus' Starmobile. It outsped and went for Noxious Torque, taking Charlie to half health. It also poisoned Charlie. Giga Drain then took the Starmobile to half health. The health we got back, allowing Charlie to survive a second Noxious Torque with the quarter. This gave us the opportunity to take out the Starmobile with Shadow Ball. Now, I usually do all the gyms by now, but I feel we need to save the Ice Gym for very last. Time for the last Titan. Phase 1 Dondozo was a straight 2 KO Giga Drain. So for Phase 2, we set up only one Calm Mind, before again 2-shotting Dondozo. On to Tatsugiri. It went straight for Icy Wind, taking Charlie to below half health, as we set up Calm Mind. It then went for Dragon Pulse into Arven's Greedent, as we went for Giga Drain, which only did a chunk. The health absorption though, allowed Charlie to survive Tatsugiri's attacks, giving him the ability to take out the Sentient Sushi in 3 more hits. Time for the last of the Team Star bases, starting with the Fairy base. We set up Calm Mind against Azumarill, who went for Bounce. We then set up a second Calm Mind, as Bounce took Charlie to almost a 5th. Azumarill was a one-shot with Giga Drain. Dashbond outsped and went for Crunch, but we Terrestrialized, neutralizing the damage. It was a one-shot, as was Wigglytuff. Last is the Starmie, who was a 2KO with Giga Drain. Last for Team Star is the Fighting Base. Toxicroak tried to go for its priority Sucker Punch, but failed as we set up Calm Mind. We were also able to get a second free Calm Mind before terrestrializing and doing 2/3 of Toxicroak's health with Giga Drain. It went down the next turn. Next is Annihilate. It outsped and took Charlie straight to 40 HP with close combat, but it was a one-shot with Shadow Ball. Passimian was a one-shot with Giga Drain. Lucario was a one-shot with Shadow Ball, so last is Aries Starmie. It outsped him for Combat Torque, taking Charlie to a 5th. It also got the Paralysis, but our Giga Drain landed, taking the Starmie to below half health. The Starmie then went for Shift Gear, so it went down. Okay, time for the Ice Gym. Our issue is our weakness to Ice, so to beat the gym, I got rid of our Ice weakness. I went to the Treasure Eatery and got the free normal Terra switch. However, when we went to face Grusha, Frostmoth missed its initial Blizzard, allowing us to get in 2 Calm Minds before it went for Tailwind. Frostmoth now outsped, but missed the second Blizzard as we set up a 3rd Calm Mind. It landed its next Blizzard, but we were already at +3 special defense. We then set up one more Calm Mind, before finally taking out Frostmoth, right as its Tailwind ended. Beardick is next, but it was a one-shot with Giga Drain. Titan was also a one-shot, so last is Altaria, who was a one-shot. All of our trouble was because of a single bug. Time for the Elite Four. We terrestrialized and set up a Calm Mind against Wishcash, who missed its Blizzard. We then set up 2 more Calm Minds, as Wishcash did some damage with Earth Power and Muddy Water. Muddy Water getting the accuracy drop. Wishcash was a one-shot with Giga Drain. Next is Camerupt, and we started building up withdrawals, as it went for Yawn, twice. We had a Chista Berry to negate the sleep though. Camerupt was a one-shot. Donphan survived Giga Drain next to Sturdy, but its Stone Edge didn't do that much. We then missed our Giga Drain, allowing Donphan to get an Earthquake, taking Charlie to below half health. Donphan went down the next turn. Next is Dugtrio. It went first to set up Sandstorm, activating its Sand Veil ability, but it was a straight one-shot. So last is Clodsire, who was also a one-shot. Next is Poppy. A single Heavy Slam took Charlie to 16 HP. Heavy Slam's damage is based on weight difference, so we're looking at a 120 base power move. I grinded Charlie up to level 70, and picked up the team for Iron Defense. Iron Defense gives +2 in defense each turn, unlike Withdrawal, which does +1 defense each turn. After 1 Iron Defense, Heavy Slam now did less than half of Charlie's health. A second Iron Defense caused Heavy Slam to do less than a quarter, so I had Charlie switch to Calm Mind, as a 3rd Heavy Slam left Charlie in red health. Giga Drain only did a 1/3 of Caparaj's health, but Caparaja was now no longer spamming Heavy Slam. It did go for 1 final Heavy Slam before going down. Next up is Corviknight, and we terrestrialized before going for Giga Drain, which as expected did almost nothing. Corviknight used this time to set up Iron Defense, but then our Shadow Ball took Corviknight to red health. Corviknight went for Body Press, which took Charlie to a quarter. We finished off Corviknight with Giga Drain. Against Bronzong, we set up our last Iron Defense and 2 more Calm Minds, before going for Giga Drain to get some health back. It only did just less than half of Bronzong's health, so we finished it off with Shadow Ball. Magnezone survived Shadow Ball thanks to Sturdy and set up Light Screen. I used this time to set up before Calm Mind, as Magnezone used the weak Discharge. It went down the next turn. Last is Tinkaton. Tinkaton went first and used the weak Stone Edge, but it also survived Shadow Ball at above half health. It then missed its second Stone Edge, as our second Shadow Ball got High Roll, finishing it off. Time for Larry. Against Tropius, we started with the Calm Mind as it went for Sunny Day. We then terrestrialized as it went first and used Air Slash. We then set up a second Calm Mind, as Tropius switched to Solar Beam. We went for a 3rd Calm Mind, before going for Giga Drain to get some health back, and a single Iron Defense. This ended the Harsh Sunlight, allowing Charlie to outspeed and take out Tropius with Terra Blast. We had to replace Shadow Ball with Terra Blast, because next out was Staraptor. It outsped and took Charlie to 4 HP of close combat, but it was a one-shot, as was Altaria and Oricorio. Last is Flamigo, who also outsped and used close combat. At level 77, we still set up 3 Calm Minds and 1 Iron Defense against Tropius, but I forgot to reteach Terra Blast to Charlie. We now outsped Staraptor, and Giga Drain took it straight to red health though. This allowed us to survive close combat at above half health, and take out Staraptor in the next turn. Altaria and Oricorio were still one-shots, so we're back at Flamigo, who we now outsped and one-shot with Shadow Ball. Last on Elite 4 is Hassel. We Terrestrialized first turn, as Norburn went for Air Slash. We went for Calm Mind. Norburn then went for Super Fang, as we set up a second Calm Mind. We went for Giga Drain to get the health back, but Norburn double resist Grass. It for some reason had locked itself into Hyper Voice, as we set up a third Calm Mind and used Giga Drain again. Norburn's Hyper Voice then got a crit, taking Charlie to red health, as we set up a fourth Calm Mind. Norburn then used Dragon Pulse, which did very low damage, giving us a chance to take it out. Dragalge, Flapple, and Haxorus were all one-shots. Last is Bascalibur. The reason we had to be plus 4 special attack, because plus 4 Terra Blast was the minimum needed to one-shot Bascalibur. Finally, it's time for Gita. Espathra went first, and did a throw with Luminar Crash, as we set up Iron Defense. Espathra then took Charlie to only 44 HP, but was crit one-shot by Giga Drain. Next is Kingambit. We Terrestrialized to set up Calm Mind. Kingambit's Kowtow Cleave did a good chunk of damage, but I had Charlie set up a second Calm Mind, as Kowtow Cleave left Charlie in red health. I had Charlie now go on defensive, but Terra Blast only did half Kingambit's health, allowing Kingambit to finish off Charlie. At level 85, we now outsped Espathra and set up 2 Iron Defenses, as Luminar Crash took Charlie to a third. It survived Giga Drain with a quarter, so we were only back at just below half health when we finished it off. This brings us back to Kingambit, who we again Terrestrialized against, and set up Calm Mind. Kingambit chose to spam Stone Edge this time, hoping for a crit, as we got up 2 Calm Minds. Giga Drain then did half of Kingambit's health, as Kingambit then finally went for Kowtow Cleave, but we just took it out with another Giga Drain. With Kingambit out of the way, Avalugg, Go-Go, Palooza, and Gomora all proceed to be one-shots. Time for our final Nomona battle. Lycanroc missed its Stone Edge twice, as we set up Iron Defense and Calm Mind. It then landed its Stone Edge, doing a quarter of Charlie's health, as we went for a second Calm Mind. It was a one-shot with Giga Drain. This spread out Goodra, but I had Charlie set up a third Calm Mind, as Goodra's Ice Beam also did a quarter. Goodra survived Shadow Ball and red health, so we got taken to almost half health before finishing it off. Against Palmont, we Terrestrialized, neutralizing the damage of its Ice Punch, before one-shotting it with Shadow Ball. Earthworm was also a one-shot with Shadow Ball. The Dunsparce was a one-shot with Giga Drain, so last is Skeledirge, who was a one-shot with Shadow Ball. That's one story done. Next is Director Clavel. We Terrestrialized and set up Calm Mind, as Rangaroo got crit with Foul Play, doing a quarter. We then set up 2 more Calm Minds, as Rangaroo used Yawn and another Foul Play, taking Charlie to half health. We had a Chesto Berry to negate the sleep, so Rangaroo went down the next turn. Abomasnow, Houndoom, Gyarados, and Poltchageist were all one-shots, so last is Meowscarada, who outsped and took Charlie straight to red health with Flower Trick, but was a one-shot with Shadow Ball. Time for Penny. We set up 2 Calm Minds against Umbreon, who could only do chip damage with Dark Pulse. It survived Giga Drain red health, so we set up a third Calm Mind before finishing it off. The rest of Penny's team proceeded to be a one-shot sweep, until Sylveon, who survived Shadow Ball. Its Moonblast didn't do that much damage, so it easily went down the next turn. That's 2 stories done, last is Arven. We Terrestrialized and set up Iron Defense against Greta, who did chip damage with Psychic Fang. We then set up 2 Calm Minds, as Greta switched to Body Slam. It never got the paralysis though, so it was an easy one-shot. Gargantuar was also a one-shot, but Team School survived Giga Drain on a sliver, allowing it to use Power Whip, which got a crit, taking Charlie to below half health. It went down the next turn. The rest of Arvin's team then proceeded to all be one-shots. With that, we now have to go to Area 0 to face A Asada. Against Slitherwing, we first set up Iron Defense, as its launch did a quarter. We set up one more Iron Defense before switching to Calm Mind. After 2 Calm Minds, we went for Giga Drain, because we were at below half health from Slitherwing. It only left Slitherwing at just above half health. We then set up one more Calm Mind, before finishing off Slitherwing with Shadow Ball. Next is Flutter Mane, and we immediately Terrestrialize, nullifying Flutter Mane's Shadow Ball, as our Shadow Ball got crit, one-shotting Flutter Mane. Screamtail did some chip damage with Drain Punch, but it was a one-shot. Groupon was a 2 KO, but its payback didn't do that much damage before we took it out. Sandy Shocks was a one-shot, so all that was left is Roaring Moon. It went for Stone Edge, trying to get the crit, as our Giga Drain took it to just above half health. It then went for Dragon Claw, as Shadow Ball took Roaring Moon to its liver. Roaring Moon tried to get into more damage with another Dragon Claw, but one more Shadow Ball finished it off. We beat Pokemon Scarlet with only Poltchageist. Thank you to everyone who watched this video, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.